Hello, Sequoia. My name is Taylor Gaynor, and today I'm here with,
Hi, I'm Ms. Magallanes.
hi, Miss Magianis. So what courses are you teaching this year?
This year, I'm teaching biology, one of which is with the Digital Arts Academy. And then I'm also teaching AVID Freshmen, which is my first time with AVID Freshmen. We'll go together for 4 years, and they're the class of 2024.
Awesome. So is it mostly freshmen that you're teaching or students of all?
Oh, yeah, it is like 90% freshmen, which is totally new to me. I was really actually scared. It's intimidating because none of their pictures are on Infinite Campus. So actually some of the first activities we did are all about like putting the slide, I need your picture, just adding that name to the face. But they've been so sweet and kind, and I like it now. I'm not scared anymore.
Oh, awesome. That's good. So what types of activities have you done kind of to like kick off the year and working, especially with freshmen? Like what kinds of things have you found to be more engaging or just better activities?
So this week, I didn't really use the structure that I hope to one day use in Zoom meetings. I did warn them it's a lot of me telling you things and kind of private me and you chatting. I got them doing a few different tech tools. I have two goals. Build relationships between me and the students, which is always a priority for me, but I feel like now even more, because it's not as easy for the students to build these relationships with each other. I want to leverage that. At least we can get to know each other. And then to practice just a few of the tech tools we're going to be using throughout the year. So one thing we did is collaborative Google Slides. I'm sure a lot of you did that. You practice slides, you get to show people who you are, something about you. And one thing we did is we went through and looked at what do we have in common. So that's one thing I'm trying to focus on. Like we can see our differences, but what do we have in common? My first week survey was a little more robust than it normally is. I always collect info, but this was even more important than the years past. I'm not going to be able, like with you, I walk by your desk, find out what shows you watched this weekend. That kind of interaction doesn't happen. So I definitely asked a lot of things like, what's your story beyond your name? Who do you live with? What's your experience like in science? Their dreams and hopes after high school. And then of course the fun things that, like I said, I'm not going to get. Favorite TV shows, movies, music, sports, all of that.
For sure. Yeah, it's so important in this, in just classroom culture, and it's really hard to do in this situation that we're in. So I definitely appreciate my teachers who have taken the time to like ask questions like that. I think it's a big deal.
Yeah. So I thought of one other thing actually. This was a big challenge and I'm proud of, so I want to brag about it.
Okay.
Yesterday was our second AVID class we had, and we did a virtual community building circle. And at first I was going to drop it. I'm like, there's no way to do it. But I have friends who are elementary teachers, and believe it or not, the types of things they try to do with morning meetings, you can steal those. And of course you ask high school questions, but it totally worked. I had a slide and I had little names all in a little circle, so we knew who was going. And that ended up being really beautiful. And I'm excited to do those actually monthly in my AVID class.
Oh, cool. That's really awesome. So that's even, AVID usually meets every day, right? So now you're only meeting twice a week. So what's that?
That's a big change. I mean, for the freshmen, they don't know a difference. But when I had my juniors and seniors that graduated in 2018, you see them at the end of every day. Now it's a 70-minute class twice a week. One thing I'm doing to hopefully make up for that is it is an assignment that they sign up for one-on-one meetings with me monthly. So 10 minutes every month. I use Calendly, which is a dream for me. It just syncs to my calendar. But that is a requirement. In my other classes, my bio classes, I just encourage, they have the link, they can sign up whenever. But the minimum for AVID is once a month, either phone call or face-to-face, and that's where I can check in. Another thing I'm doing is I'm a lot more accessible than I was in person. You can't just pop by. So I have a Google Voice number. If you see like my number out and about, it's Google Voice, don't worry. It's not my personal cell phone number. I am much more active on my Instagram, Ms. Magallanes. So students will DM me there. And then I am doing my best to be very responsive to emails. Boundaries, I'm trying to not respond outside of like official work hours, but just being accessible in all these different ways, I'm hoping makes students feel more comfortable asking for help, reaching out.
For sure. Yeah, that's a huge thing, at least from a student's perspective. And I have had a few teachers send out their personal numbers, to be accessible. I'm like, that's risky, but yeah. And maybe it's different with seniors, but I think, it's good. It's all.
And it's true. The thing that makes all this different is everyone has different comfort levels. Even with asking questions on a survey, Having one-on-one meetings is also, everything now online is a risk. And that's part of the big challenge of it. It's not easy to connect. And then when you do this extra reaching out to connect, there's a lot of precautions you want to consider. It's just all new stuff. So a lot of things we haven't considered, and we're hopefully improving every single second that we're doing distance learning.
For sure, yeah. And then from a teacher standpoint, what do you think are ways that we as students can work to bond with our teachers and with like our fellow peers in this virtual setting?
So you definitely need to leverage any office hours, whether they're small group or these one-on-one appointments. That's the way you're going to get to know your teachers and build relationships. And then that's the way that you'll feel comfortable putting your camera on in class, unmuting yourself or raising your hand and talking. Actually, I already have gotten to have a handful of those meetings. Some bio, some AVID students, and they were great. One actually, it started for the 10 minutes, started at 8:30, and then she had to stop and be like, it's 9:50 or 8:58. I have to go to my 9 a.m. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. So it's just like we were just sharing and talking, and like that's what you have to do. And I wish I had this skill in high school too, because in college, I never felt confident or comfortable going to my professor's office hours. It was like really hard. I had to talk myself up. So hopefully doing this now, when hopefully you feel comfortable or will feel comfortable with us, builds really good habits where you develop this one-on-one relationship with your professors.
For sure. Yeah, that's even helpful for me. So what's, for you as a teacher, what's kind of been the hardest part about distance learning from your perspective?
So the immediate hardest part is changing everything. But I feel like I got past the trauma of that after last quarter. Last quarter is very much just like everything's changing, you're redesigning what you thought school was. And now it's about those things we talked about, the building relationships and getting to know the kids, as well as like these things you can't plan for in teaching. Like when you're in a room and you can like feel the vibe, or you can see like, oh, I'm losing Taylor, I'm gonna just go pop over there. All of these physical things we do is really hard to not have. I can't read the room, especially if students are uncomfortable or don't have the Wi-Fi or capacity of the devices to have a camera on. So that is challenging, and I find myself going back and forth because I want to make sure that I'm not putting pressure on someone to do something that's going to be traumatic to them, but I also want them to be having a healthy challenge to go out of their comfort zone. Definitely. So yeah, it's really those like interactions, like I mentioned, when you get to walk by and ask, how was your weekend? Those little things can't happen as much.
Yeah, for sure. And it definitely makes an impact. And then have you found any like positive things for you as a teacher during distance learning?
So I keep telling myself this, and other teachers and students, so like it's like fake it till you make it. I hope it's true one day, but it is big changes mean big opportunities. And so the idea behind this is we have to change what school looks like. So instead of just mourning the loss of what school used to be, we can take this time to completely change what school looks like. And that starts with, just thinking about, I think about myself as a teacher. I can reassess, like, why did I become a teacher? What are my values? Who are the teachers? What's the teacher I want to be? Who is that teacher? And then how can I make science relevant and accessible for all students? Things that I worry that maybe get lost as you're just doing day-to-day work. And more teachers at Sequoia as a group too are taking this chance to really change what public education looks like at Sequoia. We can address systemic racism. We actually have already had some professional development, some working groups addressing these issues, talking about and working to enact more equitable practices and dismantling white supremacy in our school system. So we're taking the big change. And I mean, if a lot of the things we're normally kind of restricted by, if those things are gone, then let's just see some silver lining if we can.
Totally.
There's another thing in bio. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
In biology, there's something I'm actually really excited about, something we haven't tried. And it was, again, this same kind of idea of schools changing. Let's try something we've always wanted to. And this quarter and into the rest of the year, in biology, a lot of our work and assignments are going to be done in putting together a field journal. And part of that is students are able to get away from the screen, go outside and explore biology in their communities, in their neighborhoods. So this is really exciting. We've been planning this as a bio team. Hopefully students have picked up their journals this week or next Wednesday. They can pick up their journals. And we're just really pumped on that, how we can make science real and accessible. And yeah, field journals are gonna be awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think it's cool to look at it as like fresh opportunities for sure. And I think it's going to be good for your students to get some activities that are offline, not staring at screens, because we're a week in and it's a challenge already.
We are very much aware, and that's definitely a goal I've been sharing. Like, I'm saying it, so I have held to it. Like, I'm going to try to get you away from the screen. So for me personally, I would love if those Wednesdays, if that can be where I'm pushing out and suggesting that's when you go do your work, because you're not bound by a strict schedule.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's a great thing. And then lastly, is there any words of wisdom or pieces of advice or just anything you want to tell Sequoia students or the Sequoia community right now?
Yeah, I've been pushing out like positive vibes and love and acknowledging that things are really hard, but then we can do hard things. That I and all your teachers believe in you. And even this week, we've been talking about how we're already so proud, like the engagement, the taking risks, the kindness has become so much more evident in this first week. And we're just really, excited and optimistic. So you can do hard things, you'll make it. And then also follow me on Instagram, because that's one place I'm actually loving it. I just really brought it back to life kind of when we shut down last quarter. And I have a lot of previous students connecting with me. I get to hear when people are starting school. And then of course, it's a place where my current students can reach out.
Yeah, that's a super cool thing. All right, well, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Taylor.